Yeah, so like my channel is mostly about like the backstage life of bands and like some kind of a DIY approach. So I'm mostly interested, can you tell me how does your band function and what, I don't know, who is responsible for what in your band? How is it working for you guys?
Yeah. Well, we started out the band just Mikkel and I. Mikkel plays live bass, and we write all the songs together and run the band, so to speak. And then we have some really awesome guys, Runa and Inotek, on drums and guitar live. And Runa also joined us on the latest album, Breathe in Colors, we did. But apart from that, Mikkel and I like run the day-to-day life of the band and the songwriting. Oh, you have a cat. I love that.
Do you have a cat?
I do. She's
Okay.
just sleeping.
That is so nice. I see. So, but what exactly, for example, do you send merch yourself? How does the creative process happening? How is it going?
Yeah, I mean, we run a lot of stuff ourselves, and we have some online stores ourselves as well. So yeah, we send out merch and yeah, do the songwriting, and we've done like a lot of videos and cover art and stuff like that for a very long time. We like were in the very widest sense a DIY band, so there was like basically nothing we didn't do. So Mikkel started out doing all the instruments on the album. I brought in some occasional piano and then the vocals, and then he records his mixes and masters. He's an audio engineer, so good for me, good for us.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Then I started out doing all our music videos, and I've been doing our cover art as well, and some band photos previously. Most recently, we got to work with Tim Tronco, which was really nice because he is a lot better than I am. So I appreciate not being both behind and in front of the lens, but because it's tricky. So yeah.
Yes, I cannot imagine then. I was also speaking to the vocalist of Elaine, the Swedish metal band, and she also said that they are doing music videos on their own, and this is something that I would love for our band because, like, you know, YouTube brought a lot of listeners to our band, and it's usually like even not the problem of finance, but the problem of finding the people who can do a video for a metal band, because I don't know, in Ukraine we have lots of video production studios that are really cool, but they don't know how to do anything with metal or you know, with live bands playing. So they're cool at art videos and stuff, and I love them. But you know, for this target audience, they don't really get it usually. Sometimes you just need a video of the band playing, and that's it, you know.
It can be very different because it has to have a completely different dynamic than like you talked about an art video. And well, for us, it was definitely a money thing. We just looked up and saw how much videos cost, and we were like, shit, we want to do like tons of videos. We don't have like whatever, let's just say 1,500 plus euros every time we want to do like a somewhat decent video, not even a big budget video. That's a small video, you know that. And we're like, shit, we can't really do that. So I got into video editing, and then pretty much every shot I'm not in, I'm shooting, and pretty much every shot I'm in, Mikkel is shooting. And then I've been at least including up until and including our Tie Down album, I did the videos for that one. So we just figured out, I mean, this is something we have to do if we want to be able to do videos more frequently. And I think it's a really strong point that you're able to provide something visual to your music as well, because it's like, it goes together. And we had so many ideas to what we wanted to do. So we were like, why not do it ourselves? I mean, if we can, why not? You know, because like you say, it can be hard to find people who have that vision and know what you want to see. So yeah,
that is true. But I guess here is one of the, you know, pros of living in Ukraine, because for example here the videos, they don't cost as much. And I guess that our most expensive video was $3,000. It was like the top budget, and we didn't do anything. I mean, it was done by other people, and it had a lot of animation and graphics and stuff. So that's why I know that a lot of people, not metal bands, but like pop artists, they are all coming to Ukraine to shoot videos because
Well,
like,
I'm taking notes, so that's good to know. That's good to know.
I guess you can come to Ukraine and we can shoot, you know, videos here for both bands. So just come.
It's gonna make it like a multi thing. It's gonna make it easier. Yeah, and then I can edit them. We can save some cash there. We'll make it work.
Exactly. Yeah. And another question of mine was, apart from being in the band, do you have any extra day jobs like all of the band members, or are you full-time musicians?
It's for Mikkel and I can speak. It is very, you know, it's not just the band, but we have kept it music related just because it's what makes us happy. So Mikkel, he does some audio engineering as well. And for me, it has mainly been like focusing on just my voice and whatever I can figure out to do with that. So, I mean, especially in the past year, for everyone, we've had to get a little creative because you know how the world has been completely shut down and we haven't been able to do much. I was generally out a lot more and just playing and even doing little talks about the music business, being hired for that. So obviously this year has been a little different for everybody, but yeah, we do something besides the band, but we try and keep it just related to music so we don't have to, yeah, like, I mean, we've spent enough time of our lives doing boring shit. I think everybody has, so we try to avoid that.
Absolutely, because like I went full time like with the band last year, and
That's awesome.
I don't want to get back. You know, I'm not an office girl at all, and it's just like I also like work part time at the booking agency, so it's also music related. You know,
And it's nice, right? Because I mean, I've been in an office too. I've been I've been a waitress and worked in a piercing store. I've been like all these different things while at the same time trying to focus 100% on music. And it's enormously difficult to work these standard 7-8 hours a day, go home and then do the same thing for your band. And I just remember every weekend I just like slept 2 times 12 hours. I was so tired all the time. So it's nice to not have to do that.
yeah, I understand. I actually saw that you're also going on tour with Myrkur as
Yeah.
that would be so cool because I've seen her perform I guess 3 times. Like I saw her 3 times at live shows, and she's
Oh,
one of
that's
my favorite artists. So
I can see behind you. You have her
I just
vinyl.
put it out because I knew I would be talking about Myrkur. So yeah, like
That's an awesome record too. So I totally get it. Yeah, I mean, she got in touch and said she wanted to put together a Danish band for Folkesange, the album, and she was going out with that. So now we're hoping that's going to happen really soon. But again, everything is a little up in the air with Corona still. At least people are starting to get vaccines now, but it's still a little difficult to know if we should be playing some in April and then in May. But so all we can do now is like keep our fingers crossed that it's all going to happen like we want it to. But yeah.
yeah, I understand. I get it. Like now nobody knows anything, so we just have to adjust. And I know that you're signed to Nuclear Blast. So one of my questions is, like, how did it differ from you, like before being signed and after getting signed? What has changed? Was it for the better? I don't know.
Yeah, good question. For us, like I said, we've been very, very DIY from get-go, and that's definitely one of the things that Nuclear Blast noticed, that we were doing so many things ourselves, like doing our pictures and doing our videos and our own music, and they're like, I mean, we love that. They said you can just keep doing that. So in that sense, we were allowed to continue like we actually did, and then instead we would have like a name and a team behind us helping to push that release, obviously, which can be worth a lot because they already have an audience they can reach out to that you don't have as an indie band, even though you've been like trying to make some noise online and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's been good. And then we did from the last album, Breathe in Colors, we did start working with people doing videos and photos, but it wasn't because we like were forced to, so to speak, or we had to. It's something we really wanted. We had some people who had gotten in touch from Germany, Daniel and Florian, and they or just had some really nice ideas for videos. And for us, it was just so nice to open up and start working with other people, not having to do everything ourselves. And then we had Tim Tronco do the photos, because previously we were like setting up cameras on tripods, and then we had a little app on the iPhone. So I would like put my hand down and then push it, and then it would like push the camera. So always like just photos from here and up, and just like standing down here with a cell phone. And it's kind of ridiculous and not the most creative thing. I mean, it did the job when we had no other option, but it was nice to be able to work with some other people who also had some ideas, and not to be behind each and everything.
Yeah, that sounds great, I guess, because like I'm always thinking of like all this label stuff. Everybody has so different opinions about that, and it really depends like on the label, on the people who are working with you. So
true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah. During the past year, what did you do to stay connected with your fans? Because obviously we all couldn't tour. What did you do?
Yeah, the past year has been a little ridiculous for most artists. I mean, it's not like we didn't have it hard enough already as musicians, trying to like just live our day-to-day lives. So I mean, for me, I started up a little cover channel as well, because I was thinking, okay, I finally have to have some time to do this. And I had one like ages ago, and I mean, it's awesome just using your voice and making music. So I started that up, and we have been writing a lot of new music, because what better than when all your tours are canceled, at least you have time to stay home and you can write something. And we started doing that. And then we started up a Patreon, something we have wanted to do for like a ridiculous amount of time. We just wanted it to be perfect. You know how we've been planning for ages. Then we can do this, but then we have to do that. And we didn't want it to be just something basic. We wanted it to be a real experience for the supporters joining. And so it took a while, but this was a good kick in the ass to actually get it going finally, because it's like, okay, what better time to get this started than when we can't go out and play. So we've been trying to get things going that could keep the ball rolling, and just creating stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Patreon, because I remember that I registered a page, but then I launched it in half a year, because like I was constantly, okay, what am I going to offer? And I was starting it as a personal page, but then I just realized that we're not signed, and we could, I don't know, crowdfund our album, and it really happened. So, and now it's like my Patreon is over 2 years, and I don't know, I even cannot imagine like not having it. And I'm really so glad that a lot of bands started doing it, like, because I'm also checking out what other bands are doing, because sometimes you want to update your tiers or something like that. And it's just so cool, because you cannot look at people, you know, outside rock and metal, because mostly they have just other things to offer, you know. So sometimes to get some inspiration, you know, from other fellow artists is really cool. So like right now you were writing new music. Are you planning to release anything anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. For now, we have been really like running our Patreon as a demo club. So we have finished a lot of recordings, and then we decided to take like people behind the scenes of that. So we share little bits and pieces of the songs and the whole creative process behind it. And then in the end, I think we've been going for approximately once a month, sharing like a full demo of the song. So we have slowly started releasing it, but only like to the people supporting us there. And right now we're really just figuring out like what songs we want to put together on the album, because we have definitely been writing some different things. So right now we're figuring out, do they all go together? Should it be like separate releases? Which ones should go together? Because, you know, you want to have some variety on an album. I think I don't want like to play the same song 10 times. That would get me so bored. But I also don't want it to come off as completely schizophrenic. So we're right now just figuring out how everything fits together. And yeah, so it's I'm hoping it's something we could get out. Oh, it's hard to set some dates. I don't want to do it, but we have definitely some eyes on it in a not too distant future.
I understand. And as for touring plans, you're just waiting for the situation to calm down, right?
Like everybody else, I mean, for us, we are hoping for fall tours around Europe. So that's what we're going for right now, and hoping for, but it's still like very much on the low because like we're talking about, we don't really know what's going to happen, but that is what we're hoping to plan for. That would be fall tours around Europe again. And then, yeah, like you say, I'll be going out with Myrkur as well and playing some shows, but that's not going to be like full tours for now. It's only like just select little dates. And yeah, we'll see what happens with this year as it progresses.
Ah, yes.
Exciting.
We can get back to touring. Can you tell me, I don't know, a bright memory from one of the tours? I don't know, just something that pops to your head.
I think what comes to mind for me from all tours, I guess, are really like the final night of touring, because it's just, we've had so many great tour experiences, so it's impossible to pin it down to one thing. But the thing that comes to mind is just last night of tour, and bands have a tradition of pulling pranks on each other, and yeah, you know this.
I love it.
Yeah, the last one we were on were Female Metal Voices tour, and there was a really good like spirit, and people were having a good time together. So all the bands, and we're 5 bands at a time, got pranked the final nights. People coming up on stage doing little dances, serving snacks, and even for Leave Size, we had. Our tour manager had bought like Viking helmets and swords. So we all like entered the stage for one of their like really Viking-y songs. And yeah, we lost a tire on the tour. So during one of our songs, we got a spare tire rolled up on stage for us by some of the guys. So very elaborate, but really fun. And I hope people seeing those shows think it's funny too, that it's not just us up on stage.
Yeah, I can relate because we've also been on the Female Metal Voices tour, and I guess the tour manager was the same, and we also had a perfect time with all of the bands.
Yeah.
So I just remember that this was actually the first time the tour prank has happened to us and to other bands. Like it was the first experience for us. And I remember that there were fans who were particularly visiting the last show of the tour because they knew about these pranks, so they just came after, to the merch table, and they said, okay, I was on this tour prank show and on this tour prank show that they have,
Awesome.
Yeah, they could write a book of stories based on these tour pranks.
I feel like people are having fun with it as well, because it's a unique experience. I mean, all shows are, but in particular the last shows. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I miss that a lot.
Don't we all? I think pretty much all musicians right now really, really miss touring and miss meeting other musicians and supporters and everything around the world. So fingers crossed it's going to change soon for everyone.
Yes, I hope so too. Thank you for your time. It was really a cool talk, and I hope that it really changes and that we meet each other somewhere at the backstage. I hope so.
Absolutely. I hope so too. And thank you so much for having me. I'm glad we could do this.
Thank you. Like you said, I do miss conversations with artists. So it was just like one of the things that I thought would be cool to make while we're sitting at home.
Absolutely. While we're waiting to get back on the road.